Daily Trust, and also we have flood destroys houses, farms in Kogi State, disrupts activities in Lagos. Flood destroys houses, farms in Kogi State, disrupts activities in Lagos. Page 4 has that story. Policeman killed as gunmen adopt guards in Kwara. Policeman killed as gunmen adopt guards in Kwara. And away from the Daily Trust to the Blueprint newspaper, we still have this story repeating itself. Federal government honors Ogoni 4 to resume oil production 30 years after. Federal government honors Ogoni 4 to resume oil production 30 years after. And okay, we also have this one at UNGAT. Tinubu advocates international court for sovereign debt. Action newspaper. Now let's see the Matrix newspaper. What is he reporting? Confers posthumous national honors on Ogoni 4. I've taken that story before, but you can find more detail how it's been written on page 2 of the Matrix newspaper this morning. And also, currency abuse costs Nigeria 315 billion naira in 2024. That's coming from CBN. Currency abuse cost Nigeria 315 billion naira in 2024. Talking about abuse of Nigerian currency. That's on page 2 of the Matrix. And Boa Boss projects 1,300 naira to the dollar by year end. Boa Boss projects 1,300 naira to the dollar by year end. And still on the Matrix newspaper, we have Dapman urges Dangote to cut fuel prices, expand access. Dapman urges Dangote to cut fuel prices, expand access. Page 5 of the Matrix has that story. Let's dive away to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Healthcare crisis. What government can do to end healthcare in Nigeria? What doctors can do to end mass migration of doctors? That story is coming from NMA, NARD, and AMLSN and others. You want to know what governments can do to end mass migration of doctors? That's talking about the Japa syndrome we're facing in our country right now. You can find more detail of that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. And also, we have Tinubu meets with ex-Rivers Administrator Ibas Edun EFCC chair at Aso Rock. Moving away from the Vanguard to the Guardian newspaper now. Political parties versus SPVs. Political parties versus SPVs. Roll over rights. Multiple dormant parties that INEC considers 14 more. Roll over rights, multiple dormant parties as INEC considers 14 more. Page 5, page 6 of the Guardian, and also Nigerian political participation updates. There's a chart there on the front page of the Guardian newspaper with the image of the national flag and some number of parties we have in Nigeria from the year 2019 to 2023. There's a chart there. You can be able to find more detail of that in from the Guardian newspaper. We have this of the 83 million registered voters, only 27 million voted. The winner secured 8.7 million votes, just 37% of the voting population. Let's find more detail of that story on the Guardian newspaper this morning. All right, Last G deploys survey to manage HIV spread treatment. Last G deploys survey to manage HIV spread and treatment. Page 7 of the Guardian has that story. And we're about to round up. Let's look at the Punch newspaper this morning also. NNPCL secures 318 billion naira to fund new oil exploration. NNPCL secures 318 billion naira to fund new oil exploration. Page 2 of the Punch has that story. Olubadan, Oyo State gears up for historic coronation. Oyo gears up for historic coronation. Page 7 of the Punch. And to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, which is of course the last paper I have for you this morning. The big story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune reads: Federal government moves to restart oil exploration in Ogoni land. Page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune has that story. And also 2 killed, 6 Kwara bandit attacks. 2 killed, 6 adopted in a Kwara bandit attack. Page 29 has that story. Nigerian industrialist Olorungo Oscar Ibru dies at 67. Nigerian industrialist Oscar Ibru dies at 67. That's on page 16 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. And lastly, I've read this story before, but I will take it because of how it's been written on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. 24 hours to coronation. Prominent Nigerians converge on Ibadan at lecture in honor of 44th Olubadan. Prominent Nigerians convey on Ibadan at lecture in honor of 44th Olubadan. Let me see the riders. Emergence of Ladoja will modernize Ibadan. That's coming from Falola. And also separate tradition from politics. Obasanjo advises new Oba. Separate tradition from politics. Obasanjo advises new Oba. And also upgraded Ibadan Airport welcomes first flight as Tinubu advance team arrives. And that's where we call it a wrap on the front page of the newspaper review segment this morning. We'll be going on a short break. And I will come back with my analysts, which will be talking about some of the stories which I just read to you. We have to make it interactive. So, like I said before, drop your comments. Let's know what you think and throw questions at the analysts this morning. It's your right. All right, we'll be going shortly. I will be coming back shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back, guys. You're still on the Breakfast Cafe show on Immaculate Television ITVS. Now it's time for us to talk about some of the stories we just read on the front pages of the newspapers this morning. There are so many things we have to talk about this morning, so many interesting things. Now I am here with my analysts to talk about some of these stories. Person of Mr. Ignatius Ofino, a public affairs analyst, doing this with us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Ignatius Ofino.
Good morning, Grace Ugala.
It's nice having you join us this morning.
I'm delighted to be here this morning.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. All right, let's start from our land, our home, talking about the coronation of the coronation that will be taking place on Friday. On the Punch newspaper, we have that story: Olubadan coronation, or your guess up for historic events. So ahead of the coronation of the 44th Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, on Friday, the Oyo State government has expressed readiness to host the historic event. Also, security in the town has been strengthened ahead of the expected arrival of President Bola Tinubu and other important dignitaries. And also, relating to that, even the shut down airport in Ibadan land was opened to welcome the advanced team of the president. So now to you, Mr. Okay, don't forget this coronation will be taking place on Friday in Ibadan land, and Ladoja, who would receive both the staff of office and instruments on Friday, September 26, succeeds Oba Owolabi Olakunlehin, who joined his ancestors on Monday, July 7th of 2025 at the age of 90. So over to you, my analyst. What do you make of this mode of coronation and celebration in Ibadan land?
Ibadan is agog. We're in the celebration mood. Ibadan is now beautified and beatified with the portraits of His Imperial Majesty, Oba, Dr. Senator Adewolu Abdulrasheed Akomu Ladoja Arusha 1. So we can see we are in a celebration mood. And I have to eulogize the king.
I like the way you...
I have to eulogize the king. And I will say it. Ẹ̀rù ọba ni mo bà, ọba tó. Ẹ̀rù ọba ni mo bà, ọba tó. Mo súnmọ́ ọba pẹ̀lú ìwọ̀n ẹgbẹ̀je. Mo jìnnà sọ́ba pẹ̀lú ìwọ̀n ẹgbẹ̀fà. Ẹni rọ́ba fi lọ́ba pa ẹnu mi àgò. Ẹ̀rù ọba ni mo bà, ọba tó. That is one of the eulogies. And you can see the talking drum. Ibadan people are excited.
Excitement.
Non-indigens are also excited. This will be the first of its kind in the history of Ibadan land. The home of warriors and warlords. Ibadan is a cosmopolitan town. There is no Nigerian tribe that you cannot find in Ibadan land. Ibadan people, so sociable, accommodating. That is Ibadan for you. Ibadan, the land of many firsts. The premier university was founded in Ibadan land. The first tertiary hospital, university college. The first television station in the whole of Africa was established in Ibadan land. We have many research institutes in Ibadan land. The International Institute for Tropical Agriculture, it was also established in Ibadan land. Ibadan has become what we call a land of many firsts. They will say, Aji shebi Oyo laari, Oyo shebi baba la enikan. So that is Ibadan for you. So we are in the celebration mood. And you can see the directive that was being issued by the Olubadan designate. He said all Mogajis should be in celebration mood. So tomorrow we are going to wine and dine in Ibadan land.
I hope you will be there. I hope you will be present.
Definitely, I'm part of Ibadan. I was also at the coronation ceremony of His Imperial Majesty, the Alaafin of Oyo, Oba Akim Abimbola Owade Elewetu 1. I was there. Ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ Aláàfin kó máa ró ṣẹ̀kẹ̀rẹ̀ ọba.
All right.
So when you're talking about tradition, I'm a man of tradition. You know, I came from Benin. And our own king in Benin is Imperial Majesty Omonoba Nedo Uku Opolopolo Eredia Uwa Eware II. That is my own Oba too.
All right, thank you, Corey. This is so
Kabiyesi is marking his birthday today.
Yes.
And now he was born on 25th of September 1944.
Yes.
And he'll be coronated as what? The 44th Olubadan. What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
So he is a man of destiny.
All right, thank you, Courage. Let's move on to the next story we'll be talking about this morning. Still on the Punch newspaper, not just the Punch, it's appearing on almost all the papers this morning. Tinubu receives Ogoni report, honors slain leaders, and also from other papers, just like the Vanguard newspaper still said almost the same thing. The Matrix said Tinubu confers honor to national honors to Ogoni 4. So let's take the story from the Guardian newspaper this morning. So we have it here. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday conferred posthumous national honors of Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, on the late Ogoni 4. Albert Badi, Edward Kobani, Theophilus, and Samuel Oragi. President Tinubu bestowed the honors on the 4 leaders while receiving the reports of the Ogoni Consultations Committee at the Presidential Villa. So I would like us to talk about this morning. Okay, let's still on the story. The president recalled that in 2022, the previous administration handed the operation of the Ogoni oil field to the NNPC and its partners and stressed that his government will build on that decision. Now, on this, Comrade, what do you see? What do you see? Did you see this as Nigeria trying to retrace his step?
A thumb up for His Excellency. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. I'm also from Niger Delta. I celebrate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This morning, what Jonathan failed to do, that was what Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done. The Ogoni 9. You remember Ken Saro-Wiwa? He was an environmental activist. He was a human rights fighter and a social critic. And he was executed by the late military dictator, General Sani Abacha, with the other Ogoni 8. They were being accused of masterminding the killing of all Ogoni chiefs. And you know, when you look at Ken Saro-Wiwa, he was trying to raise observation that there is high-level environmental degradation in Ogoni land. You know, Shell BP. Shell BP is called Shell British Petroleum. There is a multinational joint venture between NNPC and Shell at that time. So Shell was in charge of oil exploration in Ogoni land. So the environment was devastated. So this man called Ken Saro-Wiwa was agitating that there must be what we call clean environment. There was environmental degradation. So there was a crisis that occurred in Ogoni land. At the end of the day, 4 chiefs were being accused of becoming what? Accomplices to Shell BP's oil exploration. So at the end of the day, those 4 chiefs were killed under mysterious circumstances. So they now accuse Ken Saro-Wiwa that he was the mastermind of the killing of those 4 chiefs. General Sani Abacha had no option than to go and arrest Ken Saro-Wiwa and other 8 environmental activists. And at the end of the day, the global community, especially the United Nations, decided to intervene. They appealed to General Sani Abacha that he should not execute those Ogoni 9. But he went ahead and executed the 9 of them. When Jonathan was in power, Jonathan was one of the lost sons from Niger Delta, Bayelsa. He ruled Nigeria for 6 years. He never felt that there was the need for the Ogoni 9 to be posthumously what? Honored. He never felt that they should grant them what called state pardon. But look at a man from the southwest, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, granting posthumous award to Ken Saro-Wiwa and the other 8, and also again granting what we call posthumous award to the Ogoni 4, the chiefs. So Tinubu should be celebrated. Okay. That was why I said that what one of the illustrious sons of Niger Delta failed to do One of the illustrious sons in Western Nigeria decided to do it. So, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I celebrate you from the depth of my heart. I have to celebrate him. Do you understand? So when we are doing analysis, you have to make comparison. That shows that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu love Niger data more than Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. That's my own observation and my submission this morning.
All right, thank you, Comrade. Still on the Punch newspaper.
But there is one thing that is very germane: the return of oil exploration in Ogoniland.
Yes, that's where
it's very important one. But there must be what we call environmental cleanup.
So NNPCL secures 318 billion naira to fund new oil exploration. So the NNPC has received 318.05 billion naira between January and August 25th, 2005 for the 4th-year oil exploration. These are the findings on the Punch.
Look at the Ogoni cleanup. The Ogoni cleanup has taken place for years. Yet the place is still what? Environmentally degraded. So if there is going to be resumption of oil exploration, there is one thing you have to put in place: environmental impact assessment survey. Very germane. They have destroyed the natural ecosystem in that place. The natural ecosystem has been destroyed. The natural habitat has been destroyed. Aquatic lives have been destroyed. So how do you restore it back? So there is what we call soil reclamation. So there is one thing you have to do a lot. There is one particular microorganism. When you discover that microorganism in any environment, that shows that there is oil in that place, crude. One of our professors in University of Ibadan was the one that discovered that organism. So is there research going on? We believe in clean environment. So before oil exploration can resume in that place, government must take into cognizance environmental impact assessment survey.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Comrade. Let's move on to the next thing we have for you this morning. There was a UN General Assembly meeting which was represented by Kashim Shettima, the Vice President, on behalf of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm sure you're aware of that. There are several points made by Shettima during his delivery speech. Some of the key points include commitment to multilateralism, saying Nigeria affirms its faith to the UN as a vital platform for global unity. Also, in the speech, he calls for UN Security Council reform and sovereign debt relief and trade access, mineral wealth for host nations, closing the digital divide. Thus, Nigerian calls for a global initiative to bridge the digital gap, ensuring equitable access to technology, particularly for Africa. You also talk about peace and human rights. Nigeria emphasized a two-state solution for Palestine, condemns violence in Gaza and Qatar, and underscores the importance of civilized values, tolerance, and multilateral efforts. He also talked about climate change and the rest, and as well peacekeeping in the UN and all that. So what do you have to say as relating to these?
It is unbecoming. Now most of the time it is the Vice President who goes abroad to represent the President. He does not actually speak well. Though the Vice President is there that can act in proxy on behalf of his principal. But there is something that is very germane. That if the United Nations is not very careful, Third World War looms. We are having more of a disunited nation rather than a united nation. And there are several agitations in the world. We have some race agitating for what? Self-determination. Among them is the Palestinians. But Israel is insisting that they will never allow the Palestinian to be governed by Hamas, that has been declared as a terrorist organization in the world. So that is germane. There is nothing wrong about the two-state solution. I'm in support of this two-state solution. Israel is a state, a sovereign state. Palestinians too should be declared as a sovereign state. So sharing borders with Israel. But there is one thing Israel is insisting, that they will never allow a sovereign state for Palestinians. Especially if Hamas will govern the Palestinians. Because Hamas itself has been adjudged to be a terrorist organization in the world. And you can see Iran today. America will never allow Iran to develop its nuclear power. Do you know why? Iran is funding international terrorist organization in the world like Hezbollah. When you're talking about Hezbollah in Lebanon, they are proxies for Iran. So that is where the problem lies. So when somebody is saying that you give America the right to develop nuclear weapon, you are denying us from declaring nuclear weapon. We are mixing it. But you are funding a terrorist organization. We want a peaceful world. We want a secured world. And there is one thing I keep saying over and over again. If man is not careful, man will be destroyed by his own nuclear invention. I repeat again. If humans are not careful, humans shall be destroyed by their own nuclear invention. Why the nuclear armament? I believe in disarmament. You can see the conflict in the world. Arms smuggling, armed conflict in Africa, armed conflict in the Middle East. And there's one thing you must know about the Middle East. The Middle East is a region that is rich in religion and in history. The two major religions in the world have their history. In the Middle East, when you are talking about Christianity, you cannot rule out Israel. When you are talking about Islamic religion, you cannot rule out the Arab world. So Israel and the Arab world, they reside in where? In the Middle East. So there is a problem. That's why I keep saying that when it comes to issue of religious argument, man tends to be what? Irrational, according to Karl Marx. So that is why when it comes to issue of conflict in the Middle East, the two major religions in the world must be very careful. Because the Middle East is rich in religion and history.
All right, the last story we'll be taking this morning. Police drag retired AIG CP's orders to court over alleged age falsification. The Nigerian police has filed a 14-count criminal charge against 5 retired senior officers, accusing them of falsifying their age records to unlawfully extend their years of service. Over to you, Comrade.
IGP Kayode Egbetokun.
Yes,
I don't think he has that moral stand. Because Sowore is also accusing the president that why did he decide to extend the tenure of the current IGP? That is why Omoyele Sowore is being persecuted by this current government. Because he made an observation. Why keeping the IGP Kayode Egbetokun? Now, IGP Egbetokun now has also featured some senior officers for age what? Falsification. You can see what a country. When you are if you want to organize a forensic investigation in the civil service, ministry, department and agency of government, at the national level, federal level, at the state level, and also at the local government level, a lot of civil servants will go to jail. Because of what? Age falsification, academic falsification of what? Academic record. Even the university, if the federal government decide today to organize and conduct a forensic investigation and audit in the university, a lot of professors and lecturers will go to jail. Just because of what? Age falsification. I'm telling you. Before, in the past, they will never emboss your age, your date of birth in WAEC certificate. But now they decided to do it because of high level corruption in the civil service. Nobody is above the law. Nobody should be adjudged to be above the law. What about the president himself? There is controversy surrounding his own academic record and his past. So for now, I will just appeal to them. Let them allow sleeping dog to do what? To lie.
That's your own.
It is only a just man that have the moral right to judge anyone, not someone that is unjust.
But don't you think this, if this investigation is pushed forward, so many sleeping dogs that ought to be awakened would be awakened?
Definitely.
Not just the ones that they've caught right now. There are so many people in the public service,
both past and present. I'm telling you, if the government decide to organize a forensic audit or investigation or screening of academic record, a lot of civil servants will go to jail. So that is why I say for now, the government will just shift its eyes away from that.
If the government,
I don't see it as a serious issue.
Don't you think if the government shifts its attention from that, more will keep on arising? People will continue.
Let's start from your president. There is controversy surrounding his past and academic record. He knows and Nigeria knows. So that is why I said it is only a just man that has the moral right to judge anyone and not someone that is unjust.
Thank you, Comrade.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Comrade. I want to continue, but I'm already behind time. I have to give way for sports and entertainment. There's one topic I wanted to take, but I think I will tackle him tomorrow when we come for the show. All right, thank you very much, our listeners and our viewers, for being with us till this time. And thank you, Comrade, as well, for your time. We'll be going on a short break and we'll give room for sports and entertainment to come your way. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
My name is Oluwatomishi Adeniji. Today I have two interesting stories for you. Firstly, Nkechi Blessing launched Chi's Big Belle Challenge, offer 1 billion cash prize. Nollywood actress Nkechi Blessing has turned recent criticism into a movement for body confidence by announcing a social media contest to celebrate women with big stomachs. Nkechi Blessing became a trending topic after a leaked gym photo of her went viral, drawing harsh body shaming in remarks from critics and trolls online. Rather than react, the actress decided to reclaim the narrative by campaigning body positivity. She explained that contestants should share pictures of their bellies, tag her, and use the hashtag #BigBellyChallenges. Secondly, Guinness World Record disowned mannequins proposed sex marathon record. The Guinness World Record GWR has related planned by controversial Nigerian adult entertainment star Mandy Keys to set a world record by having sex with 100 men at a time. Mandy Keys had earlier in an Instagram post announced her plan to attempt to have sex with 100 men. The event is scheduled for October 30, 2025 in the Ikorodu area of Lagos. The development has marked controversy to social media with many questioning her moral values. However, reacting to the trending news under a promotional flyer shared by at Niger PR on X, Guinness World Record distanced itself from attempt. The organization noted that it doesn't monitor such records. This is not a record we monitor, GWR stated under the post. That will be all from the entertainment scene this morning. I will hand you over to Sarah Jimmy for sports.
Good morning, Nigerian, and welcome to the sports segment. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are looking good, though.
Thank you. And you too.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians. Here I have two interesting stories for you from the world of sports. I am Sarah Jimmy. Firstly, Golden Eaglet dismantled baby cheetahs in Côte d'Ivoire. Five-time world champions Golden Eaglet of Nigeria dismantled their counterpart from Benin Republic 4-1 in Côte d'Ivoire on Wednesday. In their first match of the ongoing WAF B Under-17 Championship, George Hagar's hat-trick and a sublime goal from David Hede, all in the first half, gave Nigeria the win in their quest for another title decided at the State du Lis Center. The competition, the Ivorian City, is the qualifying tournament for next year's African FIFA Under-17 World Cup finals in Qatar will be decided. In Group A, Côte d'Ivoire defeated Niger Republic 2-0, while Togo and Ghana drew 1-1 as the competition kicked off at the weekend. Burkina Faso's Baby Stallions on Sunday laboured to a 1-0 win over the Benin North squad in the first match of the three-team Group B. Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, and Niger Republic will make up Group A. And secondly, I have here with me, International Tennis Federation confirms Nigeria versus Uzbekistan in 2026 Davis Cup playoff. The International Tennis Federation has officially announced that Nigeria will host Uzbekistan in the 2026 Davis Cup World Cup 2 playoffs, scheduled to take place from February 6 to 8, 2026. Team Nigeria earns its place in the playoffs following a commendable performance at the African Group 3 competition held in Harare, Zimbabwe. The squad secured promotion alongside Namibia and Senegal after a series of dominant displays in the round-robin events. Their next challenge comes in the form of Uzbekistan, currently ranked number 41 in the Davis Cup rankings and seeded number 1 in the World Cup 2 playoff draw. The Central Asian side, with a history of strong performances in the Davis Cup, represent a formidable hurdle for the Nigerian team. Despite the tough draw, the Nigerian Tennis Federation has expressed optimism about the country's chances, citing the team's recent progress and growing momentum on the continental stage. Hosting the tie on home soil is expected to give Nigeria a potential edge, with local support and familiar conditions likely to play a key role in the contest. A win for Nigeria would secure a historic World Cup 2 proper for the first time since the Davis Cup structure was reformed. The ITF, which is the International Tennis Federation is expected to confirm the exact venue and match surface in the coming week. And that brings us to the end of the sports segment of the Breakfast Cafe. And with these interesting stories, I'm sure your breakfast is fully served. I remain Sarah Jimmy. Breakfast Cafe continues with Grace Hogalai. Thank you.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you very much, Sarah, Jimmy, and Tumishi, for that wonderful one on sports and entertainment. And there was something Sarah said that piqued my attention, that with all the stories she gave you, she's so sure that your breakfast is fully served. Guys, I hope your breakfast is served. I hope I hope you served, because of course my breakfast is served, fully served, and I am so satisfied. Thank you very much, guys, for doing this with us this morning. It was quite exciting, educative, and especially with what happened with the our analyst this morning. So exciting. Don't forget, tomorrow, 26th of September, is going to be the coronation of the Olubadan of Ibadan land. Tomorrow, live in Ibadan. There are so many dignitaries, and even the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency, will be there. All right, let's stay out of trouble. Let's stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, and be good to others. We'll be coming your way at 1:30 and 4 p.m. for national news and the world news on Immaculate Television. And until I come your way, I remain Grace Ogalahi. On behalf of all the production team this morning, many thanks and bye for now.